So good afternoon. I'm Giovanni Alberto Beltrame, and I'm now working as solution architect at UniCredit Services, which is a company which provide ICTC services to UniCredit and the other holding of the group. And I studied bioinformatics here in University of Verona, and I hold a master's degree in medical bioinformatics. I was always being passionate about artificial intelligence because it fascinated me how a machine could have a behavior that seemed intelligent, that is specifically part of human nature. So and in the bachelor degree, I started to work with the artificial intelligence research team here in University of Verona, where I'm also with Alberto Castellini. And the first project that I worked on was the one related to the aquatic autonomous water drones, the one that shows also before Dr. Alberto Castellini. I joined the project at the very beginning, so it was a very, very good experience because I was able to put hand directly on the data, to put hand directly on the system that in time they developed also further. And the first activity was to develop a system that could recognize activities performed by the drone in an autonomous way, in an unsupervised manner. This drone, as Dr. Castellini explained, was equipped with sensors that collected measures such as pH, voltage, and so on. So we studied machine learning techniques to apply to this collection of measurement that the drone were collecting during the missions, and try to develop a system that was able to identify situations in which the drone were involved during the mission. For example, we identified when the drone, the aquatic drone, were navigated upfront water, or when when it was stuck, and it wasn't able to move. And also this later on will be helpful also to identify pollution in the water by means of this statistical method that we applied to the data that collected. So it was a very helpful experience because, again, a lot of practice with artificial intelligence, in particular machine learning techniques, was able to understand it and to apply in a real scenario. So it was a very, very helpful experience that gave me skills that today still at the company which I work were very appreciated. So capacity to learn, to try, to learn also from the errors and so on. So this was the first time that I approached AI here in University of Verona. Then in the master degree, I also have done a thesis in artificial intelligence and medical informatics. The work was basically to try to integrate temporal networks into ride sharing to apply to non-urgent medical transportations. So this gave me the possibility to have a deep knowledge and understand the constraint network, which is a topic that you will surely study in AI course, to apply them to more complex scenario with temporal aspect, and to unify with other topics like ride sharing in order to produce a solution that could have an impact that could help organizing non-urgent medical transportations. It was at the end, the thesis project resulted in a Python prototype that downloaded the maps from the OSM servers, build temporal network based on the requirements of the patient, the constraint of the roads, and verify the consistency of the solutions if the path, the time travel could effectively be performed. And then it also was able to run simulations. So it was also a very helpful experience working with the AI research team here at University of Verona. And this, as a summarizing my experience here, it was very helpful because I learned skills that were very useful in the company where I work now. And that skill was also preferred title in order to be hired also in the company, meaning that these company are looking for people with this kind of skill because it is gaining more and more important in the corporation, even more in larger corporation with a lot of data to be analyzed, a lot of stuff to do so. So this was my experience in university. Then I started to work at UniCredit in 2019, and when I joined the company, the first thing that struck me was that this is a representation of the main area of the digital ecosystem of the company, let's say, and the data and intelligence was a pillar structure as important as the digital security, as you may know, in a bank is very crucial, and other also fundamental areas like infrastructure and IT services, which is the one that I'm currently working in, because the corporation knows that the artificial intelligence could give them power in how they manage data, how they develop their system. So it is so important that that a whole division in the company is dedicated only to manage data and to develop, use artificial intelligence technique and methodologies. So this is just to give you an idea on how in a very large corporation, because UniCredit, as you know, has works in many countries, also outside Europe, rely also on artificial intelligence and advanced data manipulation. It is a core IT area that it is still growing right now. So then after I joined the company, I was, let's say, put in the operational area, which is the area which is responsible to guarantee the efficiency and the run of the system, because once you have planned and developed a system and put at work, you have to guarantee that it will continue working. So my experience with AI in UniCredit started with Dynatrace, which is a platform, is a software, which is intelligence monitoring platform, which means that rely on artificial intelligence to perform monitoring of the infrastructure, of the application, of the services, of everything that is ETC related into the company. Why they choose the software that is built on artificial intelligence, because it was the best solution that maybe was proper for some kind of task in order to guarantee operation of the application, in order to guarantee quality of service. This software is able to, let's say, automate the anomaly remediation. It's able to provide business with intelligent data to improve customer experience, and also it is helpful also for root cause analysis, which is a specific task which consists to identify quickly which is the cause of a problem, of a malfunction in the system, in order to resolve as soon as possible and to guarantee the satisfaction of the clients, let's say. So this is an example of what the tool do and what is the AI part of this root cause analysis. So imagine that you have a system which has thousands of servers interacting with each other with hundreds of technologies. So it is clear that it is a very difficult task to build this path that you can see now on the screen without the support of a tool, without the support of a tool that can make correlation between events at a different level of the stack, because you can see here, for example, that one customer is affected by a slowdown. So what you can see is the customer that tell you, hey, there is a slowdown, but what causes the slowdown in the first place? It's not so obvious to identify the cause, especially in a very complex system with thousands of servers. So this software is able to detect every interaction that are in place with different technologies, and to build a root cause tree, which identifies which was the first failure that causes the waterfall of other problems. So as you can see in this example, there was a slowdown in a database that resulted in a slowdown of the service that resulted in a problem with a web server and an Apache server that caused the slowdown from the application, let's say. So this is an example of how the tool developed with artificial technology techniques help in real scenarios, and it build this tree very quickly. And this is very important also because you don't have a lot of time to resolve this problem when they occur. So this tree that you have seen is built with deterministic IE methodology, which are result in a precise identification of the problem, which is the goal of our work, in order to provide the services to keep running. So it was also near real time. So this is a very interesting feature. And this is a solution. This solution was preferred to machine learning AI solution because the machine learning solution offered you a correlation of alerts. Instead, the deterministic AI solution offered you the cause. So without explaining you how it is correlated in statistical way. This is an example of software that you exploit artificial intelligence to manage the root cause analysis in a large environment, which is very complicated. So, and the company is using this tool in order to address this problem. It do it for a lot of data, for a lot of application, for a lot of countries also. This is a solution that use AI, but it is a software that is provided by an external vendor. this software, I use it basically every day. But also I was able to also develop a custom solution because I was requested to develop a time series trend forecast algorithm for the company, because there was they needed to know how trend could possibly change in time in order to anticipate infrastructural problem, for example, like server overheads or something that could impact the infrastructure. So using a big data platform that is currently adopted in the company, I developed a pretty simple algorithm in Python that uses Prophet library, which is a code that it is provided by Meta, ex-Facebook team, that help to make forecast of trends. It's a very powerful algorithm developed in Python and in R code. So I use the Python version of it to starting from the data collected by the application that you saw before, which is stored in several database, build a Python solution on this big data platform, which ingest this data, make the prediction, and store the data in other dashboard that could be used, exploited by other teams in order to understand what is going to be, how much logins there will happen in future, how much usage of system will be in future in order to anticipate, let's say, this problem. So making a step before the resolution of a problem, but anticipate it. So we should not resolve it when it happens, because it doesn't happen in the first place. So this is my experience with artificial intelligence in UniCredit, which is the company that I work. And so that's it. So thank you for your attention, and I will also thank the committee for inviting me. It was a pleasure to talk. Thank you.